The evolving man who aspires to the divinest heights is a link between God and the animal. He is capable of looking at the sky and he has still contact with the creature around him. He meets the low, he meets the high, and he sees all as a single plan. This is what Savitri is observing. Savitri sees that in the God's creation, between the summit and the abyss is standing man, and it is there in him that the thought is arising. The thought can arise in him or can enter into him. Thought can arise from his subtle body. It can enter from the cosmic fields. This is what Savitri is saying it. So she beheld the many births of thought. A birth can be of what eternal is. Thoughts are eternal. But when they enter into us, they enter into us coming from the cosmic field or rising from within us, then we might call that as the birth of thought. The birth can be of what eternal is, for the eternal's powers are like himself, timeless in the timeless, in time ever born. This too she saw, that all in outer mind is made, not born. The surface mind, the outer mind, it is not there that the birth of thought takes place. It is made, it is fabricated, it is constructed in the brain. This too she saw, that all in outer mind is made, not born, a product perishable, because it is made. Force in the body is a factory by earth force. How is it made in us? By the force of the earth. It is that which makes thoughts in us. This mind is a dynamo. This mind is a dynamic small machine producing ceaselessly till it wears out with raw material drawn from the outside world. The pattern sketched out by an artist god. Often our thoughts are finished cosmic wares. They come ready-made, fully prepared, fully formed. It is when they enter into us, they take shape according to our capacity. Often our thoughts are finished cosmic wares, admitted by silent office gate and pass through the subconscious galleries, then issued in time smart as private marks. Yes, this thought belongs to X, this thought belongs to Y, this thought belongs to Z. It is that point they sort of seem to come from the individuals. Actually, they are entering into him, but when they enter into him and the outer mind, the surface mind, give them a shape, then it looks as if it is his thought, her thought, their thought, like that, and pass through the subconscious galleries. That is what happens. Then issued in time smart as private make. For now they bear the living person's stamp. When they come out like that, then they say, yes, this is thought coming from Einstein, this is Plato, it is this man, it is that man, philosophers. Until then, they really belong to the cosmic field. For now, they bear the living person to stand. A trick, a special hue claims them his own, or else is nature's craft, and this too hers. If it is not here, his, it is as if nature has produced that thing. All else is nature's craft, and this too hers, giving the shape to thought. Our tasks are given. We are but instruments. Nothing is all our own that we create. We think we are the creators. We are giving birth to new ideas. We are not. Nothing is all our own that we create. The power that acts on us is not our force. It is somebody else who is acting and producing those results. The genius too receives from some high found, the poet, the philosopher, the artist, the scientist. They also get from somewhere else. But then we start naming them. This creation is of this man, or that painter, or that poet, like that. The genius too receives from some high found, concealed in a supernal secrecy, the work that gives him an immortal name. It is something in a person which is capable of receiving those thoughts, but ultimately what happens here is we say, oh, Shakespeare wrote that poem, that drama. Monet, he produced that painting. Beethoven give rise to that music. We give names to them, but actually they are coming from some other source, and you have simply become a receiving instrument to give expression to them. Our tasks are given. We are but instruments. Nothing is all our own that we create. The power that acts in us is not our force. The genius too receives from some high found, concealed in a supernal secrecy, the world that gives him an immortal name. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace are missions passed from a stupendous fire. They come from some high fire, stupendous fire. It is that which comes here, and these are the sparks, the creations of artists, of poets, of philosophers, of scientists. They are the sparks of that stupendous fire. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace. What a beautiful line. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace. Iambic line ending with an anapist, 4 iambs, and the anapist. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace, and the alliteration of G, glory and grace, and R, repetitive R. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace. Very powerful line from the poetic point of view. Our missions pass from a stupendous fire. It is that fire when it is received, and when it is received in its true manner without distorting its contents, then it becomes an immortal name. A sample from the laboratory of God, then it becomes a sample from the laboratory of God. A sample from the laboratory of God, a very modern image, of which he holds the patent upon earth. You have produced something in the laboratory, and you apply for the patent and get the rights of sale for that patent. But actually, where from has it come? It has come from some other place. It is a stupendous fire spark which you have received, and it is that you are patenting, comes to him wrapped in golden coverings, comes to him wrapped, W-R-A-P-T. This is the Miltonic spelling for wrapped, W-R-A-P-P-E-D. Comes to him wrapped in golden coverings, like a gift packet. You wrap it with decorative papers. He listened to the inspirations. Postman knock. Inspiration comes as a postman and knocks at your door, and you receive the gift. That gift with golden coverings. He listens to inspirations, postman knock, and takes delivery of the priceless gift, a little spoiled by the receiver mind, because the receiver mind is not faithful enough. So there is a distortion. It gets deformed in the whole process, or mixed with the manufacture of the brain. If the true inspiration is received, then you have the greatest artistic creation possible. But normally, in our case, our brain, our mind intervenes and tries to give its own shape to the things which are coming to us, or mixed with the manufacture of his brain. When least defaced, then is it most divine. So, the real effort of the artist lies in seeing that the inspiration which he receives is not deformed, is not defaced. The word, the form, the charm, the glory and grace are missions passed from a stupendous fire, a stamp from the laboratory of God, of which he holds the patent upon earth, comes to him wrapped in golden covering. He listens to the inspiration, postman knock, and takes delivery of the priceless gift, a little spoiled by the receiving mind, of mixed with the manufacture of his brain. When least defaced, then is it most sublime. Although, why does it get defaced? Because of his ego, because of his surface nature. Although his ego claimed the world for its use, man is a dynamo for the cosmic work. Nature does most in him. God, the high rest. Only his soul's acceptance is his own. Man is a dynamo. He is the energetic being to get things done. He can receive this thing. Although his ego claims, maybe let the ego claim it, but he is actually a dynamo who can be energetic, who can be a forceful person to impose his will also. Man is a dynamo for the cosmic work. That is his greatness. Nature does most in him. When he is true to himself, then nature will do to him. God, the high rest. When man is in that condition, both nature and God elevate his creation. This independent once a power supreme, self-born before the universe was made, accepting cosmos, binds himself nature's serf till he becomes a freed man or God's slave. When such a person who is capable of receiving the precious gift of nature, then he accepts cosmos. In him, nature and God can work. Only his soul's acceptance, his own, that is what is required. When his soul accepts that thing, the nature will do most in him, and God, the high, rest. It will be taken care of by God himself. His soul's acceptance is his own. That is the true free will of man. Until then, he has no free will at all. He is governed by the laws of lower nature. But when his mind is free, when he can receive the inspiration in his truthfulness, receive it faithfully, then in that case it becomes his work, free will. Then he becomes independent. This independent, once a power supreme, this soul, once a power supreme, he has lent himself to nature. He is self-born. He is Swayambhu. He is not produced. He is not manufactured. He is self-born. This independent, once a power supreme, self-born, before the universe was made, he accepts cosmos, binds himself as nature's servant, as nature's serf, as nature's slave, till he becomes a freed man. He has accepted purposefully the servitude of nature in order to become freed man, in order to become God's slave. Freed man because he is bound to nature. He is governed by the laws of nature. But when he becomes a freed man, he becomes Jivana Mukta. It is only the Jivana Mukta who can then receive truly what the inspiration is bringing to him. He becomes her freed man or God's slave. He becomes Dasa. He accepts the Dasyahood of the divine. He surrenders himself totally to his will. He identifies his will with the will of the Supreme. And it is Dasya Bhava which then makes him one with God. Seen from human nature, human angle, this Dasyahood, this servitude is not acceptable to us. But our true greatness lies in becoming the slave of God. Not just becoming the servant of God, but a slave of God. To become the slave of God is a greater achievement of man than become the servant of God. He has to be not slave, gulam. He has to be slave, gulam, dasa of God, not sevaka, servant. Because in the case of a servant, in the case of a sevaka, it is possible to go away from the master. You are serving a master. Either the master will dismiss you or you will leave the master and go elsewhere. That is possible, but a dasa, slave, he will never leave his master. Now it is that dasya bhava of Kali in the will of the Supreme Lord. It is that which brings true dynamism to this creation, and it is then only that in her will, which is already one with the will of the Supreme, that the divine things can happen here. That to acquire that Kali Bhava, Kali Dasya is the greatest possible achievement for the human soul. And when the will of the Supreme is what is accepted by the will of the soul, then there is the completest divine fulfillment in this creation. This independent, once a power supreme, self-born before the universe was made, accepting cosmos, binds himself nature's serf till he becomes a freed man or God's slave. Man is a dynamo for the cosmic work. Most of the time, nature does whatever has to be done in him. The rest is done by God. And in between is man as a dynamo. Only his soul, man's soul, accepts what is according to its nature. Only his soul's acceptance is his own. Apart from that, nature does something, God does the rest. To accept what is necessary for him, that is his free will, that is his free choice. Beyond that, he has no role to play, so to say. Once this soul, once a power supreme, self-born, before the universe was made, Swayambhu, central being, Swayambhu, he accepted the cosmic play. He entered into the cosmic scheme of things. He himself bound to the laws of nature for a certain purpose. This independent, once a power supreme, self-born, before the universe was made, accepting cosmos, binds himself nature's serf, binds himself nature's serf until he becomes free or he becomes a slave. Accepting cosmos, binds himself nature's serf till he becomes her freed man, mukta, till he becomes her freed man or God's slave. He becomes the willing instrument of God, carrying out the will of God through his will. That is the slavery which he would cherish for his own fulfillment. Accepting cosmos, so that is his choice. He has accepted the cosmos, the suffering. He has accepted the law of nature. For what purpose? For taking nature forward. And in that process, he first becomes a mukta, free of nature, or till he becomes the slave of God. Nature does most in him, he becomes free of that. God, the high rest. It is in that high the rest doing in him, that is becoming the slave of God. He is a servant, he is a slave. As a servant, he gets the wages, but then he can walk away from the master and be his own. But as a slave, he willingly accepts what the Master tells. All this, therefore, this is the appearance in our mortal front. This is a condition as we see in front of us, mortal front. This is the appearance in our mortal front. Our greater truth of being lies behind. We are not aware of the greatness that we possess, our greater truth. Our consciousness is cosmic and immense. That is the greater truth. Our consciousness is not just the individual consciousness. It is cosmic. It is immense. But only when we break through matter's wall in the spiritual vastness can we stand. That cosmic consciousness, that immensity can become ours when we tear apart the walls of matter. In the spiritual vastness can we stand where we can live the masters of our world. And mind is only a means and body a tool. That is the mastery. Both the physical and the mental, they become instruments, and it is something else than that independent who is within us, who then functions. This is appearance in our mortal front. Our greater truth of being lies behind. Our consciousness is cosmic and immense, but only when we break through matter's wall in the spiritual vastness can we stand, where we can live the master of our world, and mind is only a means and body a tool. For above the birth of body and of thought, above mind and the body, our spirit's truth lives. It lives in the naked self. Our spirit's truth lives in the naked self, and from that height, unbound, survey the world. When we go above the body, above the thought, then we can survey the functioning of this world. Our spirit's truth lives. Out of the mind, she rose to escape its law. So what was tying down until now, that with which Savitri was tied down until now, it is that she discards. Out of the mind she rose to escape its law, that it might sleep in some deep shadow of self or fall silent in the silence of the unseen. Either that mind might fall asleep or fall silent, silent in the silence of the unseen. High she attained and stood from nature free. The condition of nature does most in him, God the high rest. She has now become free of nature. High she attained and stood from nature free, and saw creations alive from far above. She is witnessing this entire creation from planes beyond mind. High she attained and stood from nature free, and saw creations alive from far above. Dance upon all, she led her sovereign will to dedicate it to God's timeless calm. Then all grew tranquil in her being's space. The moment she has risen above mind, everything has fallen quiet. become calm, tranquil. Then all grew tranquil, inner beings speak. Only sometimes small thoughts arose and fell, like quiet waves upon a silent sea. Sea has fallen quiet. At times there is a small ripple on the surface of the calm ocean. Only sometimes small thoughts arose and fell, like quiet waves upon a silent sea, or ripples passing over a lonely pool. There is nothing around but a pool. When a stray stone disturbs the dreaming rest, the pool in isolation of nature is calm, but some stone falls on it and the ripples form around it. It is in that manner when the silent mind is now what Savitri is experiencing. In that silent mind, maybe a thought comes, like a stone dropped on the pond, creating some ripples. Only sometimes small thoughts arose and fell like quiet waves upon a silent sea, or ripples passing over a lonely pool. When a stray stone disturbs his dreaming rest. Yet the mind's factory has ceased to work. It was not now mind working at all. Some stray thought might come and produce small ripples. There was no sound of the dynamo's throb. That engine has stopped. There was no sound at all. Yet the mind's factory has ceased to work. There was no sound of the dynamo's throb. There came no call from the still fields of life, neither thought nor life with its passions, emotions, nothing disturbed her. Yet the mind's factory has ceased to work. There was no sound of the dynamo's throb. There came no call from the still fields of life. Then, even those ripples, even the surface disturbance that also ceased. Then, even those stirrings rose in her no more. Her mind now seemed like a vast, empty room. It is no more a pond. Empty, vast, empty room. Her mind now seemed like a vast, empty room, or like a peaceful landscape without sound. Vast spaces of calm in the depths of nature. Then even those stirrings rose in her no more. Her mind now seemed like a vast empty room, or like a peaceful landscape without sound. This men call quietude and prize as peace. This condition of stillness, of calm, of the total absence of thought. This is what men call as quietude. This men call quietude and prize as peace. But to her, to Savitri, but to her, deeper side all yet was there. With her deeper side, she could still see something below the surface. But to her, deeper side, all yet was there, effervescing like a chaos under a lid, as if a cover has been put and below that something is constantly boiling, effervescing like a chaos under a lid. Feelings and thoughts cried out for word and act, as if they were suppressed under the lid. feelings and thoughts cried out for word and act, but found no response in the silent brain, in the silenced brain. All was suppressed, but nothing yet expunged. Not that they were not there, they were there. Although they had fallen quiet, they were under the lid. All was suppressed, but nothing yet expunged. At every moment might explosion come, because they are there. Things can suddenly explode at any moment. You have put a heavy lid, but if the boiling is very vigorous, it can throw off the lid. At every moment might explosion come. Then this too paused. The body seemed a stone, still like a stone, a carved statue. Then this too paused. The body seemed a stone. All now was a wide, mighty vacancy, but still excluded from eternity's hush. Yes, it was vacant, but still eternity's hush is not there. It is excluded, it is away from eternity's hush. All now was a wide, mighty vacancy, but still excluded from eternity's hush, for still was far the repose of the absolute and the ocean silence of infinity. The ocean silence of infinity is still very far away. Mind has fallen quiet, a lid has been put on it, but that does not mean that it cannot burst out, it cannot explode. And the ocean silence of infinity is not there. What a line. And the ocean silence of infinity, pure orat poetry. But still was the far repose of the absolute and the ocean silence of infinity. And the ocean silence of infinity, as if it is coming from one end of infinity, staying here for a moment, and again disappearing to the other end of infinity, this line, and the ocean silence of infinity. Even now, some thoughts could cross her solitude. She is with a silent mind. Still is a possibility of some thought crossing. Even now, some thoughts could cross her solitude. These surge not from the depths or from within. These thoughts are coming, they are not coming now from within, from a subtle body. They are coming from the cosmic field. Even now some thoughts could cross a solitude. These surge not from depths or from within, cast off from formlessness to seek a form. They are formlessness above. They are looking for form, and it is they who are invading her. Cast off from formlessness to seek a form, spoke not the body's need, nor voiced mind's call. These seem not born nor made in human time. They are coming from the cosmic fields, from other dimension, from other domain. Children of cosmic nature, from a far world. Ideas, shapes, incomplete armor of worlds, posted like travelers in an alien space. These thoughts are coming like ideas posted from some outer space. Children of cosmic nature, from a far world, ideas, shapes, in complete armor of words, posted like travelers in an alien space. Out of some far expanse they seem to come, as if carried on vast wings, like large white sails. These seemed not born nor made in human time. Children of cosmic nature from a far world, idea of the shapes in complete armor of worlds, posted like travelers in an alien space. Out of some far expanse they seem to come, as if carried on vast wings like large white sails, and with easy access reached the inner ear, as though they used a natural privileged right to the high royal entries of the soul. They could as if walk in straight as the right. They didn't need any permission to walk in. Out of some far expanse they seemed to come, as if carried on wing, as if carried, please remember that, as if carried on vast wings like white sails, and with easy access reached the inner ear, as though they use a natural privileged right to the high royal entries of the soul. As yet their path lay deep, concealed in light. They are coming here. How they are coming? Along what path? Along what routes they are traveling? That has remained concealed in light. As yet their path lay deep, concealed in light. Their origin is not known. Their passage is not known. Then, looking to know whence the intruders came, she saw a spiritual immensity, pervading and encompassing the world's space, as ether our transparent, tangible air, and through it sailing tranquilly a thought. Wherefrom they are coming is not known. Their path is not visible. She saw a spiritual immensity pervading and encompassing the world space as ether, the way the ether covers the space, as ether, our transparent, tangible air, and through it sailing tranquilly a thought. As smoothly glides a ship nearing the port, the thought is sailing on the sea as a ship. As smoothly glides a ship nearing its port, ignorant of embargo and blockade. The ship is sailing on the sea. It has no idea that it will be stopped at the port. Ignorant of embargo and blockade, confident of entrance and visa's seal, it came to the silent city of the brain. Thought sailing on the sea, coming to the city of brain. Confident of entrance and the visa seal, it came to the silent city of the brain, towards its accustomed and expectant cave. It was confident that it will be received with brain. That is the usual place where the ship would be harbored. Expectant came, but met a barring will, a blow of force, and sank, vanishing in the immensity. The thought is coming like a boat, entering into the harbor, coming to the docking place, and suddenly it is stopped there, and it vanishes, and sank, vanishing in the immensity. The brain is not receiving that thought at all. Something has stopped it coming. After a long vacant pause, another appeared. One thought has vanished. Another thought appears. And others, one by one, suddenly emerged, minds unexpected visitors from the unseen, like far-off sails upon a lonely sea. So this is the picture of the ship sailing on the ocean. As smoothly glides a ship nearing its port, ignorant of embargo and blockade, confident of entrance and visa seal, it came to the silent city of the brain, towards its accustomed and expectant came, but met a barring will, a blow of force, and sank vanishing in the immensity. This is the Victorian picture of the Navy conquering vast oceans, reaching far lands. It is an epic simile, Homeric simile of long dimension, describing in detail all the aspects of the simile, and sank vanishing in the immensity. After a long vacant pause, another appeared, and others, one by one, suddenly emerged, thought after thought, but they were blocked. The brain is not receiving. Minds unexpected visitors from the unseen, like far-off sails in lonely sea, like far-off sails upon a lonely sea. That reminds us of the description, like a painted boat on a painted sea. Ancient mariner, Coleridge's ancient mariner, like far-off sails upon lonely sea. But soon that calmer space, yes, thoughts are coming one after the other, but at calmer space. But soon that calmer space, none reached mind's coast. Then all grew still. Nothing moved anymore. Immobile, self-wrapped, timeless, solitary, a silent spirit pervaded, silent space. The thoughts are coming one after the other, but there is no visa. They are dismissed, they vanish, they disappear, they sink. One by one they come and disappear. Then all grows still. Nothing moves there. Nothing anymore. Immobile, rapturous in its own conditioned state, self, timeless, solitary, a silent spirit pervaded silent space.